Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to decode the fascinating business recipe behind Kalsang's massive rise in the North Indian restaurant scene. Let's just jump right in. Kalsang is one of those names that's practically become synonymous with a very specific, highly sought-after dining experience. But how exactly did a single, local establishment scale up into this recognizable regional empire? Well, today, we're going to break down the strategy, the marketing mix, and the digital footprint that literally made it all happen. Now, before we look at the hard data, I want you to ask yourself something. What really drives your own dining choices, right? Is it strictly the food on the plate, or is it the whole shebang? The vibe, the lighting, the music, that feeling of being transported somewhere else for an hour or two? For Kalsang Glue, the answer was absolutely the latter. They recognized super early on that they weren't just selling a plate of momos, they were selling an escape to the Himalayas. Here's our menu for today's Explainer. We'll be looking at 1. The Himalayan dining experience, 2. Kalsang's marketing mix, 3. Winning the digital palette, 4. Competitor challenges, and finally, 5. A roadmap for expansion. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the Himalayan dining experience, or as I like to call it, from Mussoorie to the masses. It's genuinely fascinating how Kalsang took this highly specific regional cuisine and successfully exported it to major urban centers. They started up in Mussoorie. It's this picturesque hill station where that Himalayan vibe is literally just part of the natural environment. But the magic is that they didn't just stay there. They managed to package that exact feeling, that warm, distinctive Tibetan-inspired ambiance, and replicate it in bustling, fast-paced cities like Delhi, Chandigarh, and Noida. They essentially built a bridge right between the tranquil mountains and the chaotic metro cities. And to pull this off, they had to position themselves very carefully. They fit perfectly into this niche called premium casual dining. So they aren't a budget street stall where you grab a quick bite standing up, but they're also not some intimidating, hushed fine dining room that you only visit on a special anniversary. They carved out this warm, inviting atmosphere right smack in the middle. It feels upscale and memorable, sure, but it remains incredibly approachable for everyday gatherings. Moving on to Section 2, Kalsang's marketing mix recipe. Here we'll look at the ingredients for their targeting strategy and the classic 4 Ps. Any successful restaurant needs to know exactly who is sitting at their tables, right? Kalsang casts a strategically wide yet very defined net. By targeting millennials and Gen Z, they capture that trend-conscious social crowd. But they don't stop there. They also heavily target families and corporate professionals looking for unique social spots, plus tourists and those convenience-driven delivery app customers. Because of this diverse targeting, their restaurants can be totally packed on a Tuesday lunch hour with corporate workers and then packed again on a Saturday night with young foodies. It's a highly diverse, incredibly loyal base. Now, to satisfy such a broad demographic, your product, in this case, the menu, has to be a massive, attractive blend of flavors. And theirs really is. They anchor themselves in authentic Tibetan dishes, momos, thukpa, shapta, but then they smartly expand outwards. By throwing in Chinese, Thai, and increasingly popular Korean dishes like ramen, they literally offer something for everyone. Whether you want a strictly authentic Himalayan dish or just a really solid bowl of Asian noodles, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, they've got you covered. But here's the crucial piece of the puzzle for them, the pricing strategy. A meal at Kalsang averages about 800 to 1,200 rupees for 2 people. This aligns absolutely perfectly with that premium casual positioning we talked about a minute ago. It's perceived as mid to premium pricing, which signals quality and authenticity to the customer, but it's still a strong value for money proposition, especially if you're splitting the bill. It's basically an accessible luxury. Let's jump into Section 3, winning the digital palette. This is all about their digital promotion and distribution strategies. When we look at the place aspect of the 4 Ps, Kalsang takes a really smart dual approach. First off, their physical presence is highly calculated. They make sure they're in high-footfall commercial areas and high-street locations. They want to be seen right where people are already going to shop and hang out. But secondly, and honestly just as importantly today, they seamlessly integrate with modern online food delivery platforms. They know that to win over the modern consumer, you have to dominate the convenience market just as much as the dine-in market. And online, their promotion strategy is super vibrant.
They lean heavily into a visually rich digital marketing strategy on platforms like Instagram and Facebook. But they aren't just posting boring pictures of their menus. They are doing deep collaborations with food bloggers and influencers. They run targeted ads, they keep their Google business profiles optimized, and they push festival offers to keep people engaged. It's this comprehensive strategy perfectly designed to catch the modern foodie exactly where they spend their screen time.
Actually, this quote perfectly illustrates their most effective promotional tool of all. It points out how they basically turn their customers into free digital marketers simply by providing a highly photogenic dining experience. Think about it. When the interiors are gorgeous and the food presentation is stunning, the customers do the marketing for you. They whip out their phones, post to their stories, and Kalsang's organic visibility just skyrockets through powerful, authentic word of mouth. Okay, Section 4, Competitors and Market Challenges. Let's look at the heat in the kitchen. We need to take an impartial look at their market position using a SWOT analysis. Now, while their authentic flavors, diverse menu, and unique ambiance are massive internal strengths that built their loyal base, the data does point out some clear internal weaknesses. For one, their footprint is still heavily limited to North India. Also, as they've scaled, they've started battling inconsistent customer experiences across different outlets. Plus, their premium pricing does sit a bit higher than many local alternatives, which can definitely deter more budget-conscious diners. Looking externally, the opportunities are huge. Expanding via cloud kitchens is a massive, low-overhead way to test out new markets, and geographic expansion into South and West India is just waiting to be tapped. But they have to navigate some very real threats. Rising, volatile food costs can seriously eat into their margins, and they face really stiff competition from local Asian restaurants. This means one bad online review about that inconsistent service we just mentioned can genuinely damage their brand perception in a super crowded market. You can see how this all builds into a highly competitive landscape. Kalsang so cleverly positions itself right in the middle. On one end, you have Wow China and Noodle King dominating the budget fast food space. On the other end, Mamagoto sits in the upscale premium Pan-Asian tier. And then you have Yeti, which is highly niche and authentic. Kalsang successfully straddles all these lines. They offer the cultural authenticity of a Yeti, but with the approachability and diverse menu of a premium casual spot. It's a very clever moat they've built around their brand. Finally, Section 5, a roadmap for expansion. We're serving up the next course. Our source material lays out 4 really actionable steps for Kalsang to hit a national footprint. Step 1, aggressive geographic expansion into major metros. Think Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai. Step 2, mitigates the risk of that expansion by launching cloud kitchens in unproven markets and utilizing strict franchise models. Step 3 focuses on retention and modern trends, like rolling out loyalty programs and adding vegan or healthy options. And Step 4 is absolutely make or break, rigorous staff training. They have to eliminate those service inconsistencies to ensure the food quality is identical whether you're eating up in Dehradun or down in Bengaluru. So, if they follow these steps, Kalsang definitely has the potential to become a national powerhouse. But it brings us to this classic business tension between scale and authenticity. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. Can they really mass-produce the magic? We really have to wonder if their unique, intimate Tibetan atmosphere can survive massive franchise growth, or if the very thing that made them so special will just get lost in translation. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this deep dive gave you a really clear understanding of how these modern restaurant empires are built.